Hey everyone, it's Nicholas Wilton at Art to Life, and I want to talk about that ugly stage that most people's work goes through. And I saw this really cool comment from Denise Milne, who was talking about it's hard for her to remember, but she tries to, that ugly stage of her painting actually is a helpful thing, and it's not the fact that it's just her sucking at painting. And I think this is a really good point. And so I want to talk about why that's necessary, why that stage actually is a good thing. When I remember talk about ugly stages when I was an illustrator and I was painting. I would get all these weird jobs, and I remember once I got this job from this coffee company, and I had to paint these two people in love, and it was this big kind of commission thing, and I'm not very good at painting faces, and they had to be in love, and it was just so corny. It was so hard, and I hated it, and it was so ugly, and I actually punched this. I was crying, and I punched it, and this brings me to the first point, that ugly stage sometimes is just you learning, right? Like, and the more painful it is, it's almost because you're learning at a fast rate. So now that's how I think about it. When I'm making ugly things, it's because I'm figuring stuff out. And almost the uglier, that just means that you're in it, and you're learning a lot. And you're usually, if it's painful, it's because you're learning quickly. And that's a good thing. So that's a helpful way to think about this ugly stage of your painting. The other piece of this is understanding that the ugly stage, the mistake part, the part where it's not going perfectly, is necessary. That's so necessary in art making, that you're trying something you haven't tried before. I teach these principles, and the sixth one is risk. I talk about it all the time. It's like you have to have that in your art, or it's just it's flat, and it's like, it's just being perfect all the time or doing the same thing you know how to do. It's not interesting. So that can help also. This is when your painting looks bad. That's that ugly time. That's what's going on. It's actually a good thing. And it's helpful to remember that, because you can just beat yourself up because it's going through this, and you think you don't want to have to do that. But if you just get used to the fact, this is my ugly stage, and the bigger the painting, the more ugly, and the bigger ugly thing, and it's hard to live with it. But I just know now that this is just, it just comes with the territory. It's just part of it. And almost the uglier it is, the more I'm going to learn, and the better it's going to come out, or the possibility of it being really good is there if I'm willing to risk that, right? The other thing is that, that problem where you fall in love with your work, where it's going along and, oh, I just love this color here. And then you have to paint around it all the time because you don't want to wreck it. That falling in love thing really is a problem, and it's really a challenge. You never want to fall in love, and you certainly don't want to fall in love too early. And you wrecking it, you making this thing ugly or letting it become ugly is actually you just kicking it to the curb. And if you're willing, if you don't, you don't want to love it, and you can prove it by wrecking it a little bit. And that gives you so much freedom. Like, even when it's going good, ideally you want to be loose and feel like you can change this whenever you can. No one's controlling you. You always have that option. That's hard to do. I struggle with that. If I really like it, obviously I'm not as risky, but that's the goal, to feel free at any time so you can change this thing. So anyway, those are the three kind of ideas around how you can reframe this ugly stage. It's a great stage. It's a vital stage. It's a crucial stage, and it lets you and the rest of the world know that you're not going to fall in love. That you're not falling in love because you're able. You have freedom. You can wreck it, and know that you can wreck something and then bring it back. Wreck it and bring it back. It's fine. You can do this over and over and over again. So anyway, let me know in the comments how you deal with the ugly stage of your work, either psychologically or just how you Does that happen to you? What do you do with this? I think this is pretty common. And for those of you who are new here, if you haven't heard already, February 14th, Valentine's Day, it's coming up, and that's the start of our free Art to Life workshop. And I'm going to be going over for a week solid a whole bunch of lessons around how to construct pictures and how to get to where you can be really loose with it and really understand using design, value, and color. And so you don't have to fall in love, because there's no problem. Falling in love means that you can't ever get it again. But once you get this, you totally can. And you can course correct, you can bring it, you can knock it down to where you hate it, you can make it good again, you can rock it down to where you don't like it. And it just gives you a lot of freedom. Anyway, leave the comments below. Click on the link below if you haven't signed up for that, so we can notify you when it begins. And I will see you soon. I hope your Sunday is going to go real good. Thanks. Hey everyone, if you found this helpful, I have a whole lot more to teach, share, and inspire you with every single week. So please join the Art to Life YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Okay, great. Let's do this.